these girls can really dance, but they wanted to fix something. So they would pay for her to get her boobs done or pay for her to get her teeth done. And I'm like, but she can dance. Aren't we looking at the dance aspect of everything?
Moving on to our next topic, actually, because dealing with work ethic, and Abe, I'm gonna start with you on this one, because you have a unique experience. You coached on a collegiate level, so of course there were higher expectations when it came to physical fitness. And my question to you is, do you enforce the physical fitness and the whole body image thing? Let me put it in perspective. Some teams, I know they have some very rigorous expectations when it comes to body. We're doing weigh-ins and body checking and body fat checking, things like that. But then other teams are a little more relaxed on that. Where do you fall on that spectrum?
I came into a situation where teaching at the collegiate level, it was you have to have this specific body image in order to perform at that level. But when I came in, I changed it because I know that body size should not keep you from performing, because I've had some of the biggest girls that were like could dance circles around my smallest girls. So I set it up to whereas you have to stay within around 10 pounds of where you came when you auditioned for me. So that don't mean go and you need to diet before auditions. You just need to come at your healthiest, and then you have to stay within there. And then I will work with you and we're going to work out together. Like when I had my teams work out, I always worked out with them. It wasn't never you go run your 5 miles and I'm just going to sit there and watch you. No, I'm coming along with you, but you still if I can do it, you can do it. And that was always my thing with them. I hate that whole body image thing where you have to, look like this rail thin dancer. That's not true. That's crap. Because you're not going to be rail thin forever. Not everyone. And again, some of the best dancers I've seen were pretty much my size. So I don't believe in that body image thing. I think we need to get away from that. And when I was teaching at the high school level, I didn't even have that at all. Like it was basically, we're going to work out. We're gonna, if you can perform to my expectations, we're gonna work out, we're gonna dance, and we're gonna have a good time. I'm not even looking at, I need to have this certain image.
That's good. And that's interesting you mentioned that, because I do remember being at Northwestern, that was one thing I used to always comment and compliment about, was that the Dazzlers, they were unique. Like, although they had a uniform look, you still had the individuality with the girls, as opposed to other, especially collegiate dance teams that I saw, where basically every girl on the team was like cookie cutter. It was like basically you just replace a weave or replace a skin color and it's the same girl.
Right.
But the Dazzlers, they always look different and they had their own unique styles.
So at the studio level, obviously it's different because we're working, I have babies. Some of my kids are like 6, 7 years old, up to 18, right? And so our dance studio, we really focus on the industry, like what to expect, because most of the people that come to our studio plan to dance after high school through college, like professionally. So we keep it real with them. Like as far as auditioning for company, just to get on company, you audition for pieces, right? We have a jazz portion, ballet portion, jazz tap, hip hop, all improv, all that freestyle. They audition for that. And the way they get on our company is if you get cast in the piece by one of the choreographers that's creating the piece, then you're on company. It's not like a type of thing where you like pay your money, come to the studio and you're on company. Like you have to get cast in the piece. And with that casting, going to body image, they're required to audition and dance attire. So ballet portion is leotard, tights. All the other portions is like, crop top, half top, what they call booty shorts or dancer briefs, and that's what they're required to. And so with kids, you have all different body types. People go through different levels. So it's not so much about you looking a particular way, just as long as you're healthy and then whatever the costume for that piece is, you can wear it and not feel uncomfortable. Unfortunately, there might be some kids that are like, bigger or whatever, but as far as kids, it's more flexible in that sense with them. And so we really give them nutrition. And by the time that they take all their classes and all the requirements that they're doing each week anyway, it'll come all together. So it's not so much an issue with kids. I mean, it's various, but it's more lax on that level. Now at Tech, when I was the Palm Squad, I mean, we're on TV a lot. You're on the sidelines, you know, you have an image. So a lot of that, just like when when I judged for like Dallas Cowboys auditions and things like that, it's like, this is a business, we're professional. We encourage everyone to try, but you know, this is the standard. Like, this is the requirement. So they do have a standard and stuff for like weigh-ins and things like that. But the good thing is, it's getting to the point to where like everyone is not the same body type, because there's different kind of body types. So as long as you look good in the uniform and your body type, then it's more acceptable. So it doesn't go off a particular number. Like, you don't have to weigh 103 pounds to be okay. You know what I mean? Because a girl might be at 120, but still looks fit in proportion for her body. So it works for them. But a lot of that is more on the appearance side, the look side. I mean, everything from hair color, eye color. There's so many things that go into contacting that. And, you know, talent is a big part of it. But as far as in the professional world of business, you have to have the overall package. So we keep preparing people for that as well.
And being on that, being from the collegiate side to the high school side, but also judging on the professional side, I saw where it was like, this girl can really dance, but they didn't take her because of her size. But I also saw that this girl can really dance, but they wanted to fix something. So they would pay for her to get her boobs done or pay for her to get her teeth done. And like, but she can dance. Aren't we looking at the dance aspect of everything? But it's like this big business, this big money. So they're putting out that stuff. But it's like, I hate that messaging that we send to the kids, that you have to look a specific way in order to make it. And that's just crap. Like, we shouldn't do that.
And I totally agree. You know, I coach the middle school dancers, and I've had people address me about, you know, some of my thicker girls, some of my thicker dancers, and I will tell them, I'm like, look, they're doing the moves, they're dancing, they're doing whatever. If they can do the move and the choreography, if they can, you know, blend with the team and do what I'm asking them to do, then I have no problem. They got to make cuts anyway, so it's not like, you know, like it's not even in my hands, it's literally in their hands. Now, there was a situation, Ashante, you remember this situation from college, where I did have to have a tough conversation with two of my members. And I felt bad because I didn't want the message to be, I want this for you. It literally just came down to, we don't have another uniform. In order for us to get this uniform, you got to drop some weight. And it was a horrible thing, because it was, had I known that about the uniform, I would have picked a different uniform. And by that point, the band had already bought these uniforms, and I even fussed at, you know, the band staff that was in charge of buying the uniforms. So I was like, why didn't you tell me ahead of time that we had a sizing problem? You know, why did you order the uniforms and then turn around and tell me, oh, well, these two girls can't fit the uniform unless they drop weight? So now I have to have an ugly conversation. Like, I didn't appreciate that. But, I mean, they did what they had to do.
I dropped my weight.
She did. To the point where the uniform was loose.
It was too big, but it looked
I
good.
remember.
Right. But I just remember that was like, I think I would have to put that on the one of the most ugliest conversations I had. And it wasn't, you know, anything with Ashante or the other young lady. It was just the situation that happened. And I vowed from that moment, I was like, I will never, ever have a conversation like this again, because that is just ridiculous. I know for color guard, your opinion is going to be different on this question than for dance. How do y'all feel about the male dancers in the female-dominated world, but trying to continue on in the feminine performance? For example, you have your HBCU teams that are notorious for not allowing guys. It's only girls on the team. But now with these professional dance teams and cheerleading teams like the Saints and the Buffalo Bills, and I think Atlanta, I'm not sure if they finally added a boy. I know they had a boy trying out.
I don't pay attention to Atlanta.
Right, but now that these professional teams are adding men, but they're not really changing the choreography, they're just changing the uniforms. A lot of colleges are getting pushback for not having guys on their teams. How do y'all feel about that? Like, guys entering a female-dominated area.
I mean, Northwestern has guys, and I love it.
We did.
But they make their moves their own. If they make this sense, like, if they have the girls that do their moves, and they do the same moves, but they make it where it's not as feminine but more masculine, and it still blends fine. And I find nothing wrong with that, because I have boys on, you know, my guard, and I think of, although you're in a female dominant area, I still want you to feel masculine. So your uniform might be different. Or the moves, I'll tell you the moves and I go make it your own, but go with your partner because I have 2 boys. So they practice together, that their moves are together. And so they understand that. And I make sure I emphasize that so no one gets teased or anything like that, because if they come after one, they come after all. Them children kind of good. I love my kids. But you fight one, you fighting all of them. They all coming after. So I do put where they're family. That's like, that's your brother, that's your sister. You protect your brother and sister. Y'all work together. They argue like brother and sister anyway, so you might as well move the same. So for me, it's not a big problem because I teach them that this is okay, that you can be yourself in a female dominant area. So that's me. Nancy?
No, I was gonna say I completely agree. Because we just had this, and Ashante like totally helped step in. My son wanted to do rifle. He saw me always spinning flags, and he was like, I wanted to learn how to do rifle. I was like, I don't know how to do rifle. So Will was like, I got somebody that can teach you how to do rifle and teach your girls how to do rifle. And I sent her a video of, look what my son's doing. And she's like, I got him. And so bringing him in and just doing feature routines, like he did feature stuff in the junior high level. And like, I know the mama side of me wanted to cry in the stands because I was like so proud of him. And me in the stands with the kids, being a teacher, but also, this is my baby. Like, don't come after my baby,
Right.
And him performing for the first time in front of the whole entire school and listening to the reaction of his peers and hearing them going, oh, he's gonna spin, oh my gosh, what is he gonna do? And then when he like did his moves and everything, they just went into like an eruption, and it changed the whole entire environment for the school because it opened the eyes of the school of like, wait, boys can do this is okay. Like, that was really cool what he did. The next year when I held tryouts, I had boys come to try out.
My girls, we danced. I taught them HBCU style. That was just the environment we're in, the culture that we're in at our schools, and the band that we're in. It was a show band. And I always got the question, well, what if a boy, can a boy try out? Can a boy be on the team? And I would tell them, yeah. Now, when it was the Timber Dolls, it was a little tricky because they were like, well, are you going to change the name? And I was like, no, he can be a Ken doll. Like, a boy can be a doll.
Right.
Now, when it came to the lassos, I don't think it was much of a problem because their whole moniker came from, an item, like a rope, basically. So that was unisex. But people did question, they were like, if you had a boy trial, would you allow him on the team? What would you change? Things like that. And I was like, I honestly wouldn't change much. Like, if they're brave enough to do it, I'm gonna give them that platform to do it. When I went to Northwestern to try out for color guard, I was the year I made it, I was one of 5. But prior to that, they only had 2 boys on the team. And I just remember, like, my friends that knew I was gonna go up there and try, they were like, well, they don't have boys on the team. And I was like, yeah, they do, they got 2. They're like, well, are you sure you want to do that and deal with the scrutiny and blah, blah, blah? I was like, look, down here with Winter Guard, it's normal. Like, down in New Orleans, it was normal to see guys, on color guard. So I didn't know that was not normal until I went up north and realized it was such a female-dominated sport.